Hello and welcome. I'm Jodi and this is Chair Yoga, and today we're doing a practice that moves the spine in 6 directions. Now, those of you that take my regular classes know that I highly recommend doing this as a home practice. It is so important to keep the spine flexible, and this is a great way to just check in with yourself and to do a little bit of a home practice without investing a whole lot of time. This will really greatly help you to center and reduce stress, and is just a really nice way to have some midday movement if you are behind your desk all day. So without further ado, let us begin. So begin seated well, which means seated slightly forward in your chair, such that your spine and your back is away from the back of the chair. There should be a little bit of a gap there. You want to be forward, but not so far forward that you're on the edge of the chair. So just find a place where you have a nice solid seat. Bring your ankles underneath your knees and your feet flat on the floor, toes pointed forward. And bring your hands to your knees. Now we begin with the centering. So start by noticing the feeling of the floor under your feet and the feeling of the chair underneath your seat. Extend your spine long and lift your heart slightly, but let the shoulders and the arms be relaxed. At this point, you may close your eyes. You may gaze softly to a spot in front of you. Notice your breath. So just check in with the breath. Are you breathing lightly or deeply? Simply observe. And then notice also any sounds. Observe sounds starting outside of the room, then maybe moving to the inside of the room. And then noticing, of course, also the sound of my voice. From here, begin to deepen the breath, breathing into the heart and lungs, pausing and exhaling. Think of breathing a little more deeply and a little more slowly. And as you bring the breath into the heart and lungs, notice on the inhale how the ribs expand, and on the exhale how they gently recede. Continue for a few more breaths. On the next inhale, breathe into the heart and lungs and then also into the belly space, expanding through the belly. Pause, and then as you exhale, squeeze belly button towards spine. Exhale from the belly first and then from the heart and lungs. And pause. Continue breathing into the heart, into the belly. Pause, and then exhale from the belly. Exhale from the heart and lungs, and pause. Continue with these long, slow inhales, heart, belly, and long exhales, belly, heart. Maybe 2 more rounds of breath. Just follow the rhythm of your breath. Fill the torso to its capacity without needing to make effort. Good. Now allow the breath to come back to natural. Continue to sit tall, but release the chin to the chest. Just let the head be heavy, and let gravity and the weight of your head start to open in the back of the neck and shoulders. Notice here your eyes. Soften the eyes. Notice if you hold any tension in the forehead, through the temples, through the eyebrows. Release that tension. On the next inhale, slowly roll the head to one side so that the ear lines up with the shoulder. Continue with your breath here, but notice this shoulder that's under the ear. Can you allow that to slightly release away from the ear? Move your head across the chest, rolling down and over, and then back up to the other side. Pausing here and noticing now with this shoulder, can you allow it to move away from the ear? Continue. Move head across the chest, Bring ear up to shoulder, release the shoulder. Move head across the chest. Bring head up on the other side. Release the shoulder. Continue. Now to keep this as a nice, slow, calculated, and intentional movement, you're welcome to connect your breath to the movement. So for example, exhale as the head moves across the chest, and inhale as the head comes up over the shoulder. Exhale as the head moves across the chest, and inhale as the ear lines up with the shoulder on the other side. Continue, bringing your awareness to the neck and shoulders, noticing every little muscle that stretches and flexes and pops and perhaps does anything else. Yoga is so much a practice of self-observation. So here, observe what is going on with the body. Pause at center, gently roll the head upright and look over one shoulder and then the other. Look over on the first side and the second side. Coming back to center, pausing here. Take a nice inhale, lift the heart. Pause, tuck the chin slightly, just gaze to the place where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then round the back. Scooping the back, pressing belly button towards the spine. Relax the shoulders, allow the head to drop. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, lift the heart. And exhale, round the back. Come back up to center. Now bring the arms out to the side like airplane wings and bring the hands slightly forward. Turn the palms skyward, and as you do, rotate the shoulders and slide the shoulder blades down the back. Now pausing here, notice how this feels in the shoulder blades, but also in the heart space. Your heart is naturally lifting. There's a little bit of back bend in the upper back. Continue to pause here, but release the hands to your knees. Tuck the chin slightly and arch the back ever so slightly more. And now round the back. Release the head and neck. This time as you inhale and lift the heart, include that movement of the shoulder blades down the back. Good, and then exhale, round the back. And last time, best time, lift the heart and round the back. Excellent. Sit tall. From here, you may bring one hand to the back of the chair or to the bottom of the chair, but find a stable position. Bring the opposite arm overhead. And right away notice, is your ear coming up to your shoulder? Are you collapsing in this side? We want to have equal length on both sides, and we want the shoulders to be square with your hips. You might need to bring the arm out to the side a little bit more if the shoulders are tight to help rotate that shoulder down and back. So once you're square here, notice also if the knees are splaying out, bring the knees back over the ankles. Sit nice and tall, extend long, and bend to the side. Plant your hips to reach through the fingertips. Now this, I was feeling sort of twisted in this shoulder underneath, so I brought my hand down to the bottom of the chair. Come up through center and do the second side. Now as you're here, notice if the top shoulder is rotating down and forward. Here, best to come up some, bring that top shoulder back, plant the hips, and then stretch. This is much safer for your spine and it gives you a much deeper stretch through the side body. Come up through center, And once again, we'll do the first side. So set the shoulders, extend tall, and then bend. Taking that top shoulder, moving it to the wall behind you. Come up through center. Second side. Good. And come up through center. From here, once again, sit tall. Bring your left hand to the back of the chair, your right hand to your left knee. Now already, if you're tight, you might be rounding forward. So try to sit tall and lift the heart, and then square your shoulders towards the side wall and just look straight ahead. Now here, press your belly button towards your spine. This helps to protect the low back. And then see if you can use your hands, the hands on the chair and on the leg, to help you twist a little more deeply. Slowly unwind and do the second side. Good, and slowly unwind. Come on to the forearms, over the thighs, release the head and neck. And once you release the head, gently nod the head yes and shake the head no to release any tension in the neck. Gently roll the head upright, bring your hands to your thighs, and sit upright. So spine in 6 directions is just that simple. Start with a few neck rolls and then move forward and back with your cat-cow movements. We took a lot of time doing that so that you could get the feeling of the shoulder rotation, the proper placement of the chin, and the relationship of inhaling as the heart lifts and exhaling as the spine rounds. Next, we did the side bends. So this is sides 3 and 4. We talked about the placement of the shoulders, and we talked about planting the hips to be able to reach further. Now we want to do the sides first because we want to open up these muscles on the side of the body so we have more room to do movements 5 and 6, which are the twists. And the thing that we talked about is so important in the twists is to have spine long and heart lifted, but then also to stabilize your core to protect the low back. Now we, in other classes, talk about a vinyasa flow. So you could connect the breath to movement and do side bends. For example, I like to think of this as like a blade of grass or a cattail blowing in the wind. You can also do twists, inhaling to the side, exhaling through center, and then inhaling to the other side. Of course, with the cat-cows, that one's much more natural to think of inhaling and exhaling as one flowing movement. So you can modify this little tiny practice in many different ways that suit you best. And whether you decide to sustain the shape or to do the vinyasa flows is completely your preference, and that could change from day to day. But be open to experimenting and trying new things within this basic structure, and try to do this a few times a week. It will make a big difference in your core stability and in your general range of movement. So thank you, I hope that helped. Oop, what am I thinking? We can't just say goodbye. We need to end practice very much as we begin practice, which is with centering and intention. So at this point, you can choose to be seated well, or having done our basic movements, you can now sit back in your chair and relax. You might even wish to extend the legs slightly. Allow the arms to be rested in the lap, so let the shoulders be released and the arms heavy. And you can either close the eyes or gaze to a place in front of you. Bring your awareness to your breath and to the sounds outside and inside the room. Notice the feeling of the floor beneath your feet and the chair beneath your seat. And notice any activity in the mind. Notice any thoughts that are moving through. Just let them move through. I like to say to observe the thoughts like you might watch clouds go by, with relative objectivity and some curiosity and very little attachment. If the mind starts to wander too much, you can bring yourself back to the present moment and to the breath. And you can say as you inhale, I am breathing in, and as you exhale, I am breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. We'll pause here very briefly, maybe 30 seconds or so. Good. Bring your awareness now back into the body. Bring some gentle movement to your fingers and toes. Allow that gentle movement to become slightly larger movements, perhaps circling the wrists and the ankles. Pause. Sit tall. Thank you so much for taking your time and resources to practice yoga with me today. I'm very grateful to be part of your journey. If you have any questions, please feel welcomed to message me. And until next time, be well. The practice of chair yoga is now complete. Namaste.